just a few minutes about your plan for your family land. So here live, just gonna see if a few people will join. But in the meantime, I had a meeting with a client today, and we were talking about her family's land, and I wanted to know how many family conversations have they had about the future of the land and what everybody wants to do with the land, what's going to be most beneficial for the family, what's actually going to help them to feel like they're making the most out of their family legacy. And in this conversation, we laid out a few things that she might want to do in talking with her family so that they can be on the same page when it comes to planning the future of this family land. So, one of the things that I wanted them to do is to get some experts, some consultants who could go with them to look at the land and help them to understand the characteristics of the land, how the land can be used, what are some ways that they can generate income with their family land, and then to help them to put together a development plan for that land. So when I talk about a development plan, I'm talking about what are they going to do in order to generate income from the land? What are they going to do to, I guess, to use the land in a way that's going to be sustainable for their family, that's going to actually make sense with how their family works, the resources that they have, the time they have, the people in the family, and what they're willing to do. So I wanted them to talk with the consultant to get a development plan in place. I also suggested that they talk to their local NRCS agent, that's Natural Resources Conservation Service with the United States Department of Agriculture. I recommended that they talk with their local representative about creating a conservation stewardship plan so they can see what opportunities there may be for them to utilize NRCS resources on their family land. I also wanted them to talk to a forester, or if they aren't interested in forestry, to talk with someone who can help them from an agricultural perspective. If they were going to be leasing out the land, making sure that they are actually getting a good lease rate. There are a lot of people who have been leasing out family land for generations. They daddy farmed it, they granddaddy farmed it. Now they want to farm it for the same price, pretty much, that their grandparents did. And so I'm wanting to get more people to actually see what does that land command in terms of lease value? How can they actually maximize the money that's coming in rather than just going with what people did before? So that's another thing that I encourage the families to do. Just think about ways that they can actually make this property work for them. But oftentimes, before we even get to that point, it's a matter of figuring out who in the family actually owns an interest in the property. So, what that means is we need to get a family tree, a good family tree in order. Let me make sure my sound is on. For some reason, I had this feeling that maybe I'm not even on. I'm on. Okay. So I just messed up my video for that. But anyway, I encourage them to make sure that they have a good family tree in place, starting with the first person in the family to own the property. We got the first person, so that might be great grandfather Amos. Great grandfather Amos owned this property. He bought it from his neighbor, and now he is farming it. And then generations, a couple of generations later, two, three generations later, he's deceased, his children are deceased, and maybe even his grandchildren. And so now we have great grandchildren figuring out how are they going to get a handle of this family property. So what I encourage them to do is to start with great grandpa Amos, and was he married when he died? Create a family tree. Write down the name of his surviving spouse. Write down the names of his children. And then if they have died as well, write down the names of their spouses and their children, and just create a family tree until you get to the current family members who own the property. Now, if there is someone in the family who is alive, you don't have to put their children. So their children are not going to be co-owners at that time. It's just going to be those people who are the actual family members who inherited an interest in the land. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop for now um, on that. But I will be back to talk some more about things that families would want to do so that they can actually develop a sustainable plan for their family land. I'm overseeing families losing their land because they don't have a solid plan in place. I am overseeing families not benefiting financially from their family land because they don't have a plan in place. So I'm all about helping families to create a plan that is going to work for them, that's going to help them to make to benefit from the land, whether it's them being able to use it for hunting and fishing or to live on it, or from them being able to generate income that they can create generational wealth from that property. Use it as an asset. Family land is an asset. And yes, so someone said, why would I lose my land? That's something that we definitely don't want to do voluntarily. And we don't want to have it happen because people aren't staying on top of things. So a lot of times people are losing their family land because one, they can't afford to pay the property taxes, and they don't have a good revenue stream in place to help them to pay those property taxes. Some people lose their land because everybody's fighting over what they're going to do with it. One person wants to live on it, one person wants to lease it, one person wants to farm it, and nobody is on the same page. And so those fights end up causing the family to lose the land. There's so many other reasons. People might, perhaps they might borrow money against the land and default on the loan. And so then, as part of that foreclosure, they lose the family land in order to pay off that debt. So there's so many things that could happen that could cause someone to lose their family land. But I believe that with the solid plan, that could be prevented. So I'm gonna stop there. I would love if y'all have questions that you put those in the chat, in the comments, or wherever they're called, so that I can answer them on a later video. Y'all take care, and if I can help, I am in Georgia, and I help families all over the state of Georgia with heirs property, family land. And then if this is helpful to you, if you would just like and subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. I will see y'all next time. Take care. It's Attorney Veronica McClendon.